everyone, this is Elena and welcome to Shuffle Squad YouTube channel. I am excited to be here, especially because, see what? I am wearing my new Team Shuffle Squad t-shirt. So I got it when I went to a week because some of the team members traveled it, and I also played there in the international championship, so now I can record some videos with style. Now, talking about the international championship, one of the things that I think that surprised me the most was the amount of players that decided to play Goodra. Not that we didn't know that Goodra was a really good deck, that was pretty obvious, but I think that I didn't anticipate that it was going to be the third most played deck of the entire event. And considering that we were like 1,500 players, that's some numbers. Well, before going into the analysis and getting into the details of how Goodra works and the future that it might have in this standard format, I just want to very quickly remind you that in case that you want to keep supporting our content, if you want to get cards, for instance, for your Pokémon TCG Live account, you can get so at PTCGO store, and the same thing goes for physical, like real life cards at Atlas Collectionables. You will have down below in the description all the links to our discounts, so not only you get something, but also you support the channel and its members. So now, let's talk a little bit about Goodra. It's not that we are reinventing the wheel here, so I'm sure that most of you already know what Goodra does. It's a very sturdy Pokemon that whenever it attacks, it like kind of activates a shield that makes it very difficult to take it down in just one hit. So Goodra, again, is not, and I want to stress that, it's not a new deck. It has not lost anything. It hasn't lost that much with the rotation, only the scoop up nets, but that's something that affects any sort of Lost Box engine kind of deck. I feel that combining Goodra with Lost Box is the way to go, because that way you go Comfey, Colress Experiment, then your Mirage Gates are live by your turn 2, and then you can start attacking with Goodra and kind of locking your opponent. So if your opponent is never going to KO Goodra in just one hit, they will need 2 or even 3 hits, and by the time that they get it, you just go ahead, you activate Goodra's ability, and that's it, and you basically win. So what do I think about this version? By the way, I'm playing this exact build that got top 8 at EWI, because I think it's a really well thought build and really effective. So there are some things that cannot be negotiated, in the sense that, okay, so you have Greninja, you have Cramorant, you have Comfey, you have the Mirage Gates, you have, I don't know, Energy Recycler, you have the energies, all, and switching cards. All of this needs to go in a Goodra deck. Now, the addition here, maybe if you compare it with a pre-rotation Goodra list, is that they are playing Melony, which I think it's a pretty nice addition, because that also, it's an alternative way of powering up Goodra without needing to use your Mirage Gates. All that you need to do is to attach one energy, then attach another energy in the following turn, I use Melony, and there you go. Perhaps the things that surprised me the most is the inclusion of double copies, so 2 copies of Drapion V, but it makes sense. So, as things stand, Goodra, the only deck that Goodra really struggles against is Mew. Well, that's not entirely true, but let me explain it in a bit. So, Mew control can easily win against Goodra because it prevents them from healing, and all that they need to do is to use Possess Orders, they get Goodra, then they can use Echoing Horn, get a second Goodra, and then KO 2 Comfeys, and that's it, and they win. So, because Mew is such a difficult matchup, I feel that that's why these players decided to go all in and play 2 Drapions. While I think that this is going to be very useful in the long term, the problem is that, first of all, if you open with Drapion, you have a dead card for most of the matchups, and also you are kind of giving your opponent like 2 easy prizes, so that is not cool. And second, even if you're playing double Drapion, you still need to be a bit lucky with your draws, because think that Mew control is going to be using Path plus Judge all turns. So, and you only run 2 stadiums. In order to be able to attack with Drapion, you need to remove their stadium. So if for whatever reason one stadium is on the prize cards, or you had to discard one stadium, or lost on it with Colress Experiment, then Drapion is not going even to do its thing. So I feel that, yeah, with 2 Drapions you can win against Mew, but it does not guarantee you winning against it. And now the only thing that I want to point out about this deck is that So its popularity is explained by the fact that it's the perfect counter against Lost Box. If you think about it, Lost Box does not have tools to defeat one Goodra. Perhaps the Radiant cherries are built, but that's just it. So you win against it. You have probably a good matchup against Lugia if they don't set up pretty quickly, and since they are the most played decks, well, Goodra is the choice. However, if Goodra keeps getting very popular, then what we could see is a wave of decks rising to counter it. And there are two decks that I feel that that Goodra has nothing to do against, which are Gardevoir and Giratina. Now, Gardevoir can one-shot Lugia. It does not care about the shield. It can just power up one station and that's it. You KO everything. Or you just attack twice and it's really difficult for them to beat Gardevoir. And Giratina, they just win because they have the VSTAR power that just leads one Goodra. So I'm not sure about the future of Goodra. I think that as long as Lost Box remains the most popular deck, Goodra will be there. However, if Gardevoir sees more success, I feel that perhaps Goodra is not going to be played that much. But anyways, this is just me speculating of what's going to happen. For the time being, this is the deck list that we are going to be testing together and that we are going to be seeing in action. I really encourage you to let me know in the comments down below what you think about Goodra, if you consider that is a really good pick for the upcoming tournaments, for the league cups, for the league cups and for the challenges, the locals that you have. And that's it. So let's see how Goodra behaves and hopefully we can see some quality games. Okay guys, so there we go. Let's play some quality matchups, hopefully, with Goodra. Really looking forward to seeing what this deck can do. Oh, that's a really cool coin. So Reggie Drago coin, how do we get that? Is that something that you need to get with coins? Meaning that you have to purchase it in-game? I guess so, right? It does not look like something that you used to have in Pokemon TCG Online. Well, anyways, let's see what we go against. I don't think that we are going to be facing any Regidrago deck, and if we do, that's going to be a really interesting matchup. So, well, my opponent is going to choose the tails or heads. They choose tails, and doesn't it happen to you that sometimes it goes like a little, like the setup is pretty slow in Pokemon TCG Live, or at least it's me. Ooh, I am just realizing that I didn't change the language. I will do it in the second game. Anyways, I don't think that it's going to matter that much because we all know what the cards do. Okay, so the hand is pretty good in the sense that I get to start with Comfey. I have a couple of Battle VIP Pass in my hand that I can definitely leverage. So let's see what my opponent does here. I think that we have a pretty good chance of start attacking with Cramorant turn 1, which is going to be pretty good. And yeah, I can't complain about the hand. Can't complain at all about the hand. So, okay, there we go. Against Mew. I wonder whether this is Mew Meloetta or just Fusion Strike Mew. Sorry, Mew Meloetta or Control Mew. So let's see. Good thing is that we have double Drapion, which is more than fine. So I guess here I'm going to be using the Battle VIP Pass first because then I want my Colress to hit energies. That's the reason why I'm doing this and not the other way around. So I feel that one Goodra we are going to get for sure. That's pretty obvious that we need to set up a Goodra as soon as possible. Now what I'm wondering is if I want to go here for Greninja or if I want to bench to go ahead and bench everything. I think I'm going, you know what? I think that I am kind of going to save, if that makes sense. I am going to save my Nest Ball for when I need to hit the hit the Drapion. And okay, bosses orders. Probably I won't be needing bosses orders that much during the game. So let's go for a switch. Again, flower picking and Melony. I don't think that we are going to be using it anytime soon. That's my feeling, that we are not going to be using Melony anytime soon. So I guess that what we can do is just go ahead and attach one energy and we are good to go, aren't we? I mean, if I really wanted to, I could bench I could bench that Cramorant. Yeah, I'm actually going to bench that Cramorant. Why, you are probably asking now? Because if my opponent judge paths me, I feel that having Cramorant in the active position is going to be pretty good. But again, I am not entirely sure about the type of deck that we are going against. This is clearly Mew, but I don't know if this is the Meloetta version or the control version. I think that this is the control version. In order to win against the control version, we surely need to be able to hit one Drapion at some point, which is going to be a bit difficult considering that we only run 2 stadiums. True that we run 2 Drapions, but only 2 stadiums, so finding them after judge is going to be a challenge. But let's see. Okay, so here my opponent uses Cramorant, discards one Lost Vacuum, which hits heads. That's huge because I'm pretty sure that they are going to go for they are here going to go for Mew. Sorry, for Mew. They want to set up some Mews, so they will get another Battle VIP Pass. So yeah, starting with double Battle VIP Pass is basically the dream of everyone. I mean, I can't complain because I also started with double Battle VIP Pass. Yeah, I am thinking that maybe if I really have wanted to, instead of attaching the energy here, I could have attached the energy to the Comfey and get another extra card into the Lost One. But let's see. Okay, so this is Mew Meloetta. Ooh, okay. So good and bad news. Good news is that probably we are not going to be having to worry about Back to the Peak, which is pretty good. Now, the bad thing here is that they can reach very high amount of damage with Meloetta. So we need to be extra careful about what we do in this situation. We need to be really careful and hopefully have the possibility to go for bosses orders. Have the possibility to go for bosses orders because yeah. And we need to get. Had I known that, I would probably maintained my bosses orders in hand. It's true that they still. No. I mean, I would have maintained it. But I didn't know that we were going against Meloetta, and I think that it was better like to have Mirage Gate. Okay. That is fine. So Ultra Ball, that will allow us to do some stuff here. Now the problem is I don't think that we will be able to. Let's use Colress. Okay, so Colress here. What do we want to get here? So probably this, right? I mean, it's not that we are going to be using anytime soon the Battle VIP Pass. So okay. Now let's use Flower Selecting here. Okay, Goodra is good. Oof, I wonder if I want to keep Roxanne. I wonder if I really want to keep Roxanne. So I think that I'm just going to go ahead and evolve this because this is what I want to do right now. And then I have a couple of options here because I don't think that I can attack this turn with Goodra, especially considering that we are still 2 cards short from being able to activate Mirage. So I think that the best thing that we can do in this situation is just switch, right? I think that we are going to use the switch, promote Cramorant and attack with Cramorant. I could evolve. I think I'm going to do that actually. Let's go ahead and let's evolve the second Goodra. And I should probably be checking the deck, by the way. Okay. So it looks like we have pretty much everything. So let's evolve the second Goodra just because it's going to be slightly more difficult for my opponent to KO this thing. Even if there is no shield around it, they still need like 3 damage modifiers to reach numbers. So yeah, and then hopefully we will be able to get something. Well, it's true that with Colress Experiment we will be able to use Mirage, which is pretty good. And let's see if my opponent gets the first KO, and if they do get the first KO, what they are going to be promoting. So in my mind, if they go, okay, so they run Back to the Peak. Okay, so this is like a mixed version. I know that these type of versions, they do run at least 1 or 2 Back to the Peaks, but I think that it's easy for us to overcome that. It's not that they are running 3 or 4. So, okay, they have just discarded a bunch of cards. They are now going to be drawing a lot with Genesect. Worth mentioning that they only have 2 Genesects, which is going to kind of limit the amount of cards that they draw. Okay, so they now discard another Escape Rope. They get another Heads with Chromomatic. And I wonder what they are going to be promoting here. I really wonder what they are going to be promoting here. Because I think that you need to... So the issue is that if they attack with Mew, they risk us attacking... Okay, they risk us attacking with Drapion. So let's see. Let's see what happens. So they've decided to go for Boss's Orders. They have not used any single power tablet, so chances of them hitting them are pretty high. But they have already used one Genesect, right? So, and they have 3 cards in hand. Let's see. So 1 power tablet plus the other damage modifier, which is the Choice Belt. They only need 1 last one, which probably can be grabbed with this one. Which probably will be grabbed with the Sky Sealstone. Not the Sky, sorry, the Forest Sealstone. Unless they hit it organically. So let's see. I feel that here, yeah, okay. So the third one comes in. That is bad. That is pretty bad, but still we have Drapion under the belt. We have Drapion under the belt, and unless they are able to hit, they are able to do something like Path to the Peak, we should be fine. Okay, so they get the damage modifiers, that is fine. Now we are going to be promoting here the Comfey. We are going to be promoting here the Comfey, that is fine, and we will use Colress, get the Drapion, and get things going. So, ooh, how many energies did I hit here? Oh my god, how many energies? Okay, that's fine. All the energies in the world. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do Mirage here at this stage. Oh my god, that's really terrible. That's really, really, really terrible. I don't know how many energies I have. I will need to check. I'll probably need to check, to be honest. Okay, so let's grab one Drapion. Let's see, so there is 1 energy, then I have 2, 4, plus all the 2. I don't know how many energies I have. Honestly, I don't know how many energies I have. I'm going to retreat this. I'm going to put this here, the active position. Okay, I'm going to activate Mirage, just in case. So we can have like a secondary attacker, just in case that something happens, and then we are going to go ahead and attack with Drapion. And the 60 damage counters are going to go to 1 Comfey. I don't really care that much. Okay, so we get rid of Drapion. That's fine. That's pretty sweet. Actually, we get 3 prizes. And I am assuming that what my opponent is going to be doing here is attacking with Meloetta. Because if they leave this guy here, it's all lost for them. So next time what we want to do here is to find Boss's Orders. And even if we don't find Boss's Orders, I mean, this is going to be a complex. This is going to be a bit complex. Okay, so there comes Elesa's Sparkle. That is for sure going to power up Meloetta. For sure that is going to power up Meloetta. Okay, there we go. So Meloetta and Mew, that's fine. We can still deal with Meloetta by using Cramorant. So let's see. Or in an alternative way, what we can do is just attack with... we can go ahead and attack with Goodra, because I feel that unless my opponent pulls a combination... Ooh, okay, that's bad. That's pretty bad. Lost City. Okay, so they are going to get rid of our Drapion. That's fine. Ultra Ball with Cramomatic. No, it didn't hit heads. So only tails. Still, they will get to draw some cards. And bear in mind that they haven't used the VSTAR power. The VSTAR power. VSTAR. What is a VSTAR power? Anyway, so the VSTAR power is still live. I am really, really worrying about Roxanne here. They need to attack with Meloetta. They really need to attack with Meloetta. That much is pretty clear. But I feel that if they attack with Meloetta, we are not in a bad position as long as we get the first KO with... as long as we get to attack with Goodra. As long as we get to attack with Goodra. Let's see. My opponent is planning here what to do. Hey, Meloetta gets promoted into the active position. That was pretty much expected. It's fine. So Choice Belt goes into the Mew VMAX. Okay, Choice Belt goes into the Mew VMAX. And what are we going to see here? what are we going to see here? Another Ultra Ball, maybe for a Genesect. Yeah. Well, they discarded a Judge. Okay, no. So a second Mew. That is fine. Second Mew appears. And Melodious Echo for the KO. More than enough to get the KO here. Okay, so I feel that what we are going to be doing here is... I think that we promote Goodra, right? I think that's the thing. We promote Goodra. How many cards do we have in the Lost Zone? For whatever reason, I cannot choose. So, okay, well, let's go ahead. Let's promote Comfey. Draw one card that is completely useless. So, Colress Experiment. Okay, we have the Drapion, which is fine. This is going to be really useful as well. Hopefully to deal with that Mew. But does it matter though? Does it matter? It matters if we want to reach a Genesect. I think that yes, it matters if we want to reach a Genesect. So let me get back to my... Yeah, I feel that we need to get the Energy Recycler. The Drapion has to stay on our hand, and I feel that the Choice Belt is also going to be pretty useful. So, okay, this has already been played. I'm going to manually attach one energy here. I will probably attach one energy here to Goodra as well. Then I'm going to do some flower picking. Crystal Cave. Could be a good thing, right? If they bath us. Could be a good thing if they bath us. Yeah. So what we are going to do now is we will retreat. We will manually retreat. We will promote Goodra. And now, so here's the thing, guys. The way in which my opponent wins is by having a combination of the last 2 damage modifiers, which is something that, I mean, they can get. Sorry. So 2 damage modifiers, plus Escape Rope, plus Boss Orders. That's the way in which my opponent wins here. Because they will use Escape Rope, they will force us to promote whatever. They will then get rid of our shield, and then they use 2 damage modifiers. I am very, very concerned about them hitting it. I am really concerned about them being able to hit it. It's true that they only have 2 Genesects, but they still maintain the VSTAR power. So that's something that could definitely happen. Let's see the amount of switching cards that they've gone through. So they've already used 1 Escape Rope. They've already used 1 Escape Rope. Yeah. And 2 damage modifiers. So let's see, guys. Let's see. If they don't get it, I think that we win. If they don't get it, I think that we win. But if they get it, we lose. So yeah, I don't know. This is nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking. Okay, so well, my opponent now is fully powered in the sense that they have used some cards. Okay, so there goes the first damage modifier. They need a second one. And they need to, again, like the combination of Boss plus Escape Rope. My opponent is somehow thinking, I guess that they are considering using the VSTAR from Genesect now? Not entirely sure how this is going to play out. Okay, so Genesect for 5 cards, I mean, they are going to draw the entire deck. So, odds of we losing here are pretty high. Odds of us losing here are pretty high. I must say that, to be perfectly honest with you guys, I think that we are a bit unfavored when it comes to play against Mew Meloetta. When it comes to play against Mew Meloetta. So having a one price attacker really disrupts our plan and the efficiency of using double Drapion. Okay, so 1 Genesect is down. They've played Lost Vacuum. Now, what is going to happen? What is going to happen in this situation? The second Genesect is used. Only 9 cards remaining. Only 9 cards remaining. Oh my god. Oh my god. Do they have the combination? I mean, just tell me already. I understand. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that they are going for it. Oh, wait. But if they got boss's orders, unless they are playing cross-switcher, there is no way in which they can target our Goodra, right? So we are safe. We should be safe. We should be safe. Okay, so Palpat to recycle. That's something that I can't stand about Pokemon TCG Live. Like, why don't you tell me what they recycled? I think it was 2 boss's orders, right? But still, like, oh my god. Okay, whatever. Okay. So I guess that here what they are going to do is they will just promote Oricorio and wait for that combination that we said earlier. So boss's orders plus Escape Rope. Now, what I am very concerned about, what I am really concerned about is, oh, okay, no. So instead of that, they are just, okay, that's fine, but we won. I mean, all good that they copied the attack from Oricorio, but if I am not mistaken, we won. I wonder if we would have hit the boss's orders. Well, not that I care anymore. So let's just attach 1 energy to Cramorant. Let's spend 1 Drapion, so 2 Drapions. I feel it's a bit too much sometimes, but that's the way in which you win that pairing, right? So let's attack with, and let's make sure that we don't place the damage counters where we knock our Comfey, and just like that we won the game. It is a very interesting game because I don't think that we got to see Goodra that much. I mean, Goodra just attacked once, and everything we had to do was rely on the power gold old Drapion. I feel that's the problem that Mew has in this type of matchup. It's a really powerful card so Mew is a really powerful deck that has a lot of aggression, but it just cannot deal. It just cannot deal with double Drapion, or even with 1 Drapion if your opponent plays it at the right moment. So anyways, I am looking at the time. I know that I think that we are not going to play a second game just because Goodra's games just take forever. So we are going to cut here, but I really hope that this gave you somehow understanding of how this deck works. It's really easy. All that you need to do is to power up Goodra, attack with Goodra, and forget about the rest of the things. The only real matchup where you have problems is Mew, but that is perfectly fixed by running double Drapion. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about Goodra moving on, and if it will still remain very popular for the remainder of the season. And yeah, it was a pleasure being with you here. We'll see each other very soon. So, bye bye!